Okay, and let's begin.
Let's begin. So we are ScreenJest back again, and tonight on Halloween night we are talking about the John Carpenter Apocalypse trilogy, which, as we know, consists of The Thing, The Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness.
In the Mouth of Madness.
I've seen that one.
No. For the purposes of this, Connor, we've seen everything.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually have seen these. Unlike the last debacle, I have seen this one.
It might have been classed as a debacle. It was a debacle.
No, it was good. It was good. We've built up quite the cult following.
We have. We've got a few followers. Hello to our followers.
Hello Twitter. Afternoon, evening, morning Twitter followers.
Yeah, wherever you are. What do you think about our headstones?
What mine says, brar. Beware.
The brar. Trick or treat. And mine says rip. Rip.
So, John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy. Really, for me, I think a very interesting set of films.
Can I just say?
Yeah, of course you can.
To start with, I don't think a lot of people knew that it was a trilogy.
But I think John Carpenter didn't realise it was going to be a trilogy, to be honest.
I suppose he didn't, because he went from making The Thing, which was a middle-ish budget, and because it was such a success down the road, he got given a big money to do a big studio film, and he made Big Trouble in Little China.
Which
sick.
Yeah. Well, this is the funny thing, because Matt, you've hit the nail right on the head there.
That's always on Christmas Eve.
What, Big Trouble in Little China?
Is it?
Yeah. I think he's right about that. But so the original budget for The Thing, I think, was somewhere in the region of about $15 million, but it only made something like 19 at the box office itself.
Yeah,
so
it didn't recover.
At the box office, it was basically a total flop, just breaking even. But then, massively, further on down the line, it went really well, and he made Big Trouble in Little China. But it was funny because before all of that, John Carpenter was actually, I think, fired from a number of films that he was working on because The Thing was so badly received, which is crazy because I love it. It's a great film.
He was due, I can't remember what he was due to make, but he was due to make a really big film, and he got fired because of the way The Thing was received.
Yes.
I can't remember what film it was, though.
What Thing?
The Thing. But and then after he did Big Trouble in Little China and it all went so pear-shaped, he said, right, I've had enough. I'm doing independent films, and I want to do an independent film that changes everything, and that's where Prince of Darkness came from.
And that is where Prince of Darkness
He's completely independent, privately financed.
Yeah.
So,
do you want to roll? Let's roll right into the Prince of Darkness. Prince of Darkness actually did really well, and it sort of highlighted a thing that Carpenter was working on at the time, which was all about.
Connor's got a question. He's
No, this is really good.
Go on.
There's a poll here.
Oh, perfect.
What's your favourite horror film from 1990? Jacob's Ladder, It, Nightbreed, or The Exorcist 3?
It's got to be Jacob's Ladder.
No, it's got to be Exorcist 3.
No,
we're
Jacob's
going
Ladder.
to press it.
What?
And that's winning.
As if Jacob's Ladder isn't winning, that's a great film.
Jacob's Ladder's bottom.
We'll have, Jacob's Ladder is an amazing film, and we'll have to do another one on The Exorcist 3. Because
Jacob's Ladder, Exorcist 3, Nightbreed.
The Exorcist 3 suffers from having The Exorcist in the title. I would go as far to say Exorcist 3 is one of the greatest horror films
has the best jump scare
made.
Has the best jump scare.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, we digressed completely.
We have digressed completely. We are actually live on Twitter. If you want to, one of our Twitter followers, you want to come chat to us live on Twitter, please do.
Periscope.
We're on Twitter.
We're on Twitter. We're on Periscope.
We're on Periscope. We're in my room.
we're on wine.
We're on wine. Yeah.
We're on wine.
So where were we? Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness.
Which was a total independent film, as we were saying, and blended together a lot of the themes of like quantum theory and stuff like that Carpenter was sort of quite into at the time.
To such a degree that he was so into making this really thoughtful piece of cinema that if you look at the opening credits, it says written by Quatermass. Now, Quatermass was a famous scientist from a BBC series called Quatermass.
Yes,
and he did
Quatermass and the Pit.
Quatermass and the Pit, yeah. So he actually quoted himself in that.
He wrote it under a pseudonym,
He wrote under a pseudonym because at that stage he was, what a lot of people don't realise about John Carpenter, he was heavily into quantum string theory,
positive and
antimatter, science versus religion, and all this stuff, and he wanted to bring it together in a horror film, but an intellectual horror film, which I think a lot of people got put off with because the trailer didn't portray that at all.
To be honest, I think all three films suffered badly because, but I mean, don't get me wrong, they've become, as far as I'm concerned, cult classics. I love them, but they really suffered at the time, and The Prince of Darkness was no exception. Really odd film, Prince of Darkness. I think one thing to remember, for people at home, if you haven't seen it or anything like that, is there's this massive anti-Christ, anti-God thing, green in a tube.
When it says anti-God, at no stage does it ever refer to him as Satan.
No.
But the premise is, if our world is made up of matter, and let's say religion is an overarching thing, and God creates matter, therefore God is a part of all of us, then there must be a negative side, so there must be antimatter, so therefore we must also contain antimatter, and if there's a God there must be an anti-God, and so that's the premise of it. And the anti-God doesn't contain any physical form because it's within all of us. So for the film, the anti-God comes across as goo.
It's odd. I mean, you get it because the anti-God is more like a concept, and this goo thing is like a vessel of some description. It's an odd film. It's weird, but the premise is not about the whole swirling green stuff. It's what that's built on. As Matt was saying, it's all about the duality between science and religion.
Yeah, and it sets itself up by saying there's this vat. And it sits in the bottom of a church, a really old church. The dates don't quite add up, but it doesn't matter. It really sits in the bottom of a church. And you've lost... I'm confused now, Connor.
No, keep going.
Anyway, and it's guarded by a secret order that's not even known by the Vatican, called the Church of the Sleepers.
You're really going for it,
and the tube is called the Sleeper, because it is sleeping. And anyway, this is the form that the anti-God has taken because they've contained it within this tube. But this tube is strange because this tube is locked from within. So although the priests and that are guarding it, they actually don't have any control over this because it's locked within. They are there just to document changes to this tube. Now what happens is there's some sort of solar
there's supernova in a far off galaxy sends out these subatomic particles which wake the sleeper, and with him waking up the world starts to change, so all the negativity within everything starts to awaken. So the film starts off really broodingly, and there's little things like people who are easily influenced, i.e. the homeless, they start to because they're down and trodden. And they're downtrodden, vulnerable people,
who are more just the homeless, and like for instance there's this underlying theme of ants and insects that they have succumbed to the darkness and they're already forming and plotting.
One of the most famous scenes in the film obviously being where one of the guys is covered in insects. He's like, I have come to deliver a message. And you are not going to like it.
He literally says like that. You are not going to like it.
And you are not going to like it. It's a great scene.
And then his head falls off.
It's magic. So again, with John Carpenter's special effects are obviously amazing. I mean, having spoken about The Thing, one of the greatest pieces of special effects
the difference with this was, though,
at the time.
In terms of this, he didn't have any budget for special effects.
Absolutely not.
Every single special effect had to be filmed on screen in shot.
Well, and then what they did, I think there's a scene with water gushing out of someone's eyes, stuff like that. It's actually all shot in reverse. So they've just reversed the footage or whatever. And it's all little tricks like that. There's obviously, spoiler alert if you've not seen the film, the ending scene, with the mirror, where they sort of dive into the mirror, pool at night, things like that. All these little low budget techniques.
But the little bit with the silver, that was Mercury.
That was Mercury,
So I would like to wonder if they used prosthetics there, because it's not very good for your health, dipping your hand in mercury.
Oh, I don't know. Just
a little bit of mercury poison. Never hurt anyone.
Yes, and so that was, just a great film, The Prince of Darkness.
Also, from this container, it's also, because it's swirling and it's sending off signals.
We're back on the green stuff.
And the scientists, they bring some scientists in to try and work it out. The idea is that if science can determine that this is what they think it is, then people will start to believe in evil. And if people believe in evil, then it will restrain the evil, because we now have belief in it. The reason it's getting power is because no one has any belief in it anymore. But anyway, it's sending out signals, but these signals are translated into mathematical formulae. and then they translate the mathematical symbols into text. And for me, it comes up with this really weird text, but one of the greatest lines in the film, it says, "Even your god plutonium cannot save you now." And it's like, the god plutonium, what are you talking about? But I personally think that is a massive line. For me, that is symbolising that at this day and age, in this day of science overtaking religion, we have now got to the fact that we worship our powers over the atom more than we do over our belief in gods. So therefore, even our control over the atoms, i.e. nuclear weaponry and things like that, cannot stop the coming apocalypse.
Basically, yeah.
Or is that just me rambling?
Well,
yeah, better.
A little bit of that, but you've kind of nicely surmised the plot of The Prince of Darkness, and if you viewers at home don't understand that, then you're like 80% of the people that have watched this film. So, yeah, basically, the duality between science and religion, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's like, have you played that Apocalypse game with Bruce Willis? Where the guy goes...
You're thinking of Die Hard?
No. He goes...
Die Hard Apocalypse.
There's a thing with all monsters and stuff, and they're all like 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and there's a main scientist who goes like, religion used to be my science, now science is my religion, or the other way around. And it's really good.
What is he waffling about?
Let me try and find it.
Google it, have a look.
Be careful, the porn doesn't come
up. What?
Hang on a second, we'll just have a look at Connor's screen. But yeah, it's massively underrated because it is a very intelligent and clever film, and it also doesn't explain things. It leaves everything very open. During the film, the people who are working on the vat are getting this dream, and they're all having this dream, and they're all having the same dream, but every time they have it, the dream extends a smidge more.
You really are just explaining the plot of Prince Darkness.
Yeah, but this dream that they're having is explained that quantum string theory, therefore everything exists at once, just in different states. Okay. The future has already happened, and the people know what has happened in the future, but they want to help out the people in the past, but their technology is not at the stage yet where they can send images back in the past. So what they do is they use tachyons and fire tachyons back into the past.
Is that just a Watchmen thing?
No, this is the film. and so these tachyons are going to the right spot and are translated by these people as dreams. Because at one stage during one of the dream, it actually goes, "This is not a dream, this is live." And so, and as it goes on and the dream gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you see at the end that this demonic figure that comes out of the church actually turns out to be one of the main characters caused by one of the events from the film earlier on. So,
spoiler alert.
So it then leads you to think that you can't change the past.
Spoiler alert.
You can't change the future, but what you can do is change the context of the future. So it is going to happen, but it might happen with different varying factors.
I'm looking at. Oh, Bruce Willis.
But that's just me waffling about Prince of Darkness because I think it's very underrated.
Clearly.
And also, it doesn't have an end.
No, it doesn't.
And I like
goes on forever.
No, it doesn't go on forever. No, the ending is ambiguous, and funnily enough, that's a John Carpenter thing. The end of the thing,
actually,
that was
all three of these films have ambiguous endings.
Absolutely. They're meant to be because all of these films are interpretation and building on themes. This is, I suppose, commentary on films and stuff like that, is that because they're not films that are supposed to be digested as just a basic A to B story, and they're digested as, think about this and conceptualise that and all of that this sort of stuff, it's quite difficult. I mean, your explanation of The Prince of Darkness there, I've seen the film, and I'm sure people at home who've seen the film will know exactly what you're talking about, but people who haven't seen it are lost. They haven't got a clue No, do you know what's going on?
No,
exactly.
No. And if you watch the trailer, you'll look at it and think, oh my god, it's the Antichrist. There's some zombies everywhere. Oh my gosh, there's Alice Cooper as a homeless person.
To be fair, that was pretty cool.
Well, it was cool.
I like Alice Cooper.
Yeah, I do too.
He's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's good as well.
Well, because he had that
poison running through my veins.
The reason he was on the film was because he had this trick that he used to do on stage, Alice Cooper, where he would basically impale someone with his microphone stand. And because John Carpenter went to an Alice Cooper concert, saw that he really liked it.
And the producer of Prince of Darkness was also Alice Cooper's...
How did that work?
Producer or something like that.
I don't know.
How did the prop work?
Yeah, the stabbing. I don't know, but they used
a real person. Or
what do you think I am? Stan Winston?
Yeah, they stabbed it for a real person.
Stan Winston.
Go on, it's a film podcast.
Special effects maestro, Stan Winston.
Educate the man. Educate the man.
Stan bloody Winston.
It's Stan Winston.
Rubbish.
No, but basically, yeah, he stabbed him through with the thing. It was like an illusionary special effect that Alice Cooper used to do on stage, and he taught or allowed John Carpenter to use it in the film. But because John Carpenter loved Alice Cooper so much, rather than give him a cameo, which is what Cooper originally asked for, he made him the leader of the homeless people.
The influential homeless people
that you talked about earlier.
Strangely though, also one of the things he said is Alice Cooper said he wanted to be in it. If anyone knows John Carpenter films, John Carpenter always does his own composing. But Alice Cooper said, I want to be able to put a song for this film. And John Carpenter said, yeah, that's fine. And he did. He did a song called The Prince of Darkness. But it wasn't released till about a year later. So it's like, you can actually hear it briefly in the end credits, I think, but it certainly wasn't released until like a year later, which was strange. So yeah, so I'm always fascinated about quantum and physics and how our science versus religion, and how just because we think we can explain something means it makes it explainable. It's like, Joe, stop it. Do you know, there's some things we can't explain. Our little brains can't comprehend it.
The only thing I'd say to that is, listen, total non-film related plug, but it was in the news. I've been looking for a place to tell people about this, and if you don't know, why don't you know? Listen, no, because they've actually devised quantum computing. It's incredible. Go and look it up if you haven't already. It's seriously,
where is it?
Insane. What, quantum computing? Google have done it. Look it up. Quantum computing. What, are you deaf?
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah. Have a look.
Yeah, years and years ago, they devised quantum computers, but they couldn't get them to work in any capacity that was relevant.
Yeah, they were theoretical. Anyway, have a look. Just the future is now, ladies and gentlemen. It's mental.
The future is now.
Speaking of the future, obviously we've briefly touched on The Thing, which I think absolutely bears going back to, perhaps as the climax of this podcast.
What thing?
The Thing.
For
God's sake.
What thing? Yeah, it. What it? The Thing.
Yeah.
What thing? It.
Because I mean, The Thing was pretty crazy. It's funny that you obviously talking about the whole what thing it, and all of this sort of stuff. Because one of the most famous scenes, one of your favourite scenes in The Thing is where the head comes off and it sprouts all the legs.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah. And which they directly reference in It Chapter 2.
Spoilers. But yes, they did.
How?
Well, because
someone's head falls off and Rose's legs.
So Stan's head falls off, spoiler. And then Richie says, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Spoiler.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great. It was great little nod to The Thing.
Do you know what's weird about that is The Thing Chapter 2, so we're talking about a 2019 film.
I've still got to drive. Just give me a little bit.
Oh, we've got guests. Oh, we've got guests, everyone.
A gift from
a gift from the heavens. Heaven sent. She comes bearing gifts.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to hover and see what you think of it.
Can Tom have a small bit more of red wine?
Oh, are you serious?
I've got a tiny bit left.
Oh, bloody hell, Connor, you're going to drink an entire bottle? Just a smidge, Dan. Thank you.
If anyone's interested in what me and Connor are drinking, it's my special wife's. That makes it sound like I've got lots of them, doesn't it? It's I should get my special wife.
I do not want my normal wife today. Bring it to me, my special wife.
Bring the ceremonious wife.
No, the ceremonial wife comes out on Sundays. I said I want the special wife.
Bring me the one that can crunch a peanut with her thighs.
Bring me the one that can crochet a handbag in 30 seconds. Thank you, love. Cheers.
Right, everyone behave. Thank you.
I can still hear you.
Is it nice, gents? There we go.
Yeah, I liked it.
There we go.
So anyway, what I was saying, well, my special wife brought, she makes this special hot chocolate that's got a little bit of moonshine in it.
Oh, I see.
Measure and a half.
It's got a measure and a half of moonshine in it.
A measure and a half of handmade secret blend
Moonshine.
moonshine.
Oh,
Tell me about the fly.
Oh, and there's in my jar of moonshine. It's a jam jar, of course. Moonshine comes in jam jars. I don't know why someone doesn't break the mould and put it in something else. It's traditional. Moonshine comes in jam jars, but I put on one of those pouring lids because otherwise you can't pour a jam jar very well. So I put a pouring lid in. Somehow a fly wiggled its way down the pouring hole and died in the moonshine.
No.
But moonshine, obviously, is so high in alcohol, it's completely sterile. But I've just left the fly in there.
There you go. It's like that. It's like that Mexican tequila or whatever, or that Mexican alcohol that's got the little worm in it.
But what do you thought you were going to say, Meghan?
Mezcat.
You're going to say like Meghan Merkel in there.
No, Meghan. Who is
Merkel?
Who is Meghan Merkel?
It's like what? Princess
Markle.
Meghan marrying Angela Merkel.
Well, is she a princess?
Is
Well,
she?
She's Duchess, at least. She's your princess. She's the people's princess. No, that's Kate.
She will die in a tunnel. Oh,
Kate.
Stop. Right.
Yeah, sorry.
I have a question for you, gentlemen.
Okay, go on.
Do you read? Listen, I've got a question.
Go on.
Do you read Sutter Kane?
Do you read something?
Do you read Sutter Kane?
You should.
I wasn't really paying much attention in that film
Then
until
you will be-
until,
oh, go on.
until then. When I see him coming towards the screen.
For anyone that's interested, we've now moved into
we are in
the mouth of madness.
Yeah, and he comes to. I didn't notice him walking towards the screen. Then when he was right there, all dishevelled, and then said that, I was like, "Fucking hell!" Like,
Do you read Sutter Kane?
Again, in the mouth of madness, what I would say, whilst not as clever as Prince of Darkness, again it has that take on reality.
I disagree with the aspects of clever.
Give us the premise of In the Mouth of Madness.
In the Mouth of Madness is basically a film heavily inspired. John Carpenter was a guy called H.P. Lovecraft. And if you've not read any H.P. Lovecraft, that's cool, but it is Cthulhu. It is the Cthulhu mythos and all of the weird squids that come from space. Now, the principle of In the Mouth of Madness, and if you sort of read H.P. Lovecraft's work, is it's not just giant space squids. They're a little bit more esoteric than that, basically. The great old ones are these beings that exist outside of known reality and communicate in ways that, and spread their influence through ways that can't quite be defined or understood by man. And they speak through a man named Sutter Kane. And Sutter Kane is an author. He's like he's the next Stephen King.
He's based on Stephen King.
Sutter Kane, Stephen King, and a little bit of H.P. Lovecraft.
I hadn't even thought of that before. SK.
Yeah.
SK.
Oh yeah,
it was
intentional. Yeah, that was intentional. And so what happens is a guy called Trent, played by Sam Neill, best Merlin.
Do you think by now Sam Neill should be classed as a horror icon?
I mean, why? Because he played Merlin.
No. Just look at what he's been in.
In the Mouth of Madness.
In the Mouth of Madness, he was in Possession.
Yeah.
Event Horizon.
Event Horizon. Yeah. Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Yeah. We're gonna need a bigger bolt.
You have got to be. No. So getting back onto what happened.
Yeah.
The great old ones speak in a way through Sutter Kane. What happens is Kane writes these books. The books get published, more people read the books, and through the books, the madness, the kind of mental infection of the old ones then begins to spread.
Yeah, because that's very much a Lovecraftian theme, that because our brains can't fail to comprehend what these great old ones are, the very thought and essence of their existence drives us a little bit loopy.
It's effectively a form of mental corruption. Do you know what I mean? Where your mind can't quite comprehend, and this is exactly what happens in the films. But unlike in Cthulhu mythos and things like that, where people see these massive entities and immediately have their fragile little human minds blown, this is what I like about In the Mouth of Madness. It's so much more gradual, so much more nuanced.
I wonder if Stephen King's It used the deadlights as a basis for Lovecraftian terror.
Well, the thing is Lovecraft has actually formed quite a lot of these kind of things.
That was intelligent, wasn't it?
Well, so here's an interesting thing. A lot of. So, have you ever read any of Stephen King's wider works, as in the Macroverse and things like that? Gan, the Dark Tower. Have you read Dark Tower?
Not all of it. I've read bits of the Dark Tower.
Film, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen. Yes, it was an awful film, but you can't. Idris Elba did a great job, and so did Matthew McConaughey. They were brilliant.
Yeah. But no, I've read some of the Dark Tower.
So
very complicated.
The Man in Black. Is widely regarded, and I don't know whether it's confirmed in any of the books or widely regarded or whatever, as being Nyarlathotep. And Nyarlathotep is like a deity from the Lovecraftian
I didn't
mythos. So there is a connection there almost, and the way that the world is sort of constructed and things like that. Yeah, the wider works of Stephen King, when you get into the Macroverse and exactly what it is and what the deadlights are and things like that, they are things that are cosmic horrors beyond human comprehension. That you I've seen. That's why, if you've seen it, chapter 1, Bev goes all thing in the deadlights because she can't actually look at it.
She's the only one that does resist it, though, isn't she? Though it does paralyse her, she actually comes out of it.
She does.
No one else comes out of it, does they?
Richie does.
Does he?
In the chapter 2, you remember where Pennywise turns on him? Spoilers. We're on in the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
So in the Mouth of Madness, Sutter Kane writes these books. The books get published, and people are talking about it in the film. Oh my God, we've sold the rights in 18 different languages or 16 different languages, and we've already got a film in production and all of this sort of stuff. Kane is incredible, and he's already written 2 books, and they're about to publish the 3rd, and he disappears. And then this is where Sam Neill, Trent, whose last name now escapes me.
I don't know.
Do you know?
Let's call him back.
Sam Neill comes in as a fraud investigator, not desperate, but aiming to prove that Sutter Kane's disappearance was a fallacy, like a lie.
Hired by Charlton Heston. I don't know how Charlton Heston ended up in the film, but
it's great. I forgot about Charlton Heston. Absolutely. Anyway, to sort of cut the premise of the film short, the reason that In the Mouth of Madness is so weird and crazy as you begin to progress through the film is because you are introduced to, and again, spoilers, you're introduced to the concept of Sam Neill's life and things like that as he progresses through. But what you don't realise is that it's actually all a work of fiction, and that in a very weird way, Sutter Kane wrote the last of his book series, In the Mouth of Madness, using Sam Neill as the main character. So he's a character within a character, and within this book is very
and he was written for a very specific purpose.
Yes, to bring
spoiler alert again, to bring the missing manuscript back
into the real world,
from Hobbs End to the real world, and that was his whole purpose that he was written for.
You're absolutely right, Matt. So Sam Neill travels to Hobbs End, which is in New England, Maine, of course. It always is when it comes to these sorts of stuff. Again, another similarity between King and Lovecraft. And he's looking for Sutter Kane and everything like that. And when he finally meets Kane and he finally gets the manuscript, it's revealed that everything has been written according to plan. The woman, the love interest in the film, she just disappears because Kane no longer had a use for her. She just wasn't interesting or whatever. So gone, just like that, and no one really questions it. Well, aside from Sam Neill's character, but he didn't. But and obviously because it's heavily Lovecraftian, Sam Neill's character obviously ends up going insane, getting locked in the insane asylum.
I think the final straw in his coffin, in his mental straws being lost, is that Sutter Kane in front of him.
Final nail in the coffin. That's
final nail in the coffin. What did I say? Final straw in the coffin.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
The straw that broke the coffin's back was that Sutter Kane in front of him tears the page of the book, which is actually Sutter Kane's face.
Oh. And he starts tearing the book apart. And he basically rips a hole in reality, and that is the Mouth of Madness. It's a metaphor for the tunnel that he walks down, transitioning from the pretend reality of the book into the real reality of the world with the manuscript. Once he's brought the manuscript there, the presence of the old ones finally is complete, and everybody, because all throughout the film as well, people have been losing their minds, beating the granite out of each other, trying to.
It's just going.
Seriously,
it's going on in the background. Is that the world?
You never really realise. And it's all to do with the influence of these great old ones. And finally, the final nail in the camel's back, as it were, is that the manuscript is brought into the real world. And everyone loses their minds. Yeah,
and it's got a great bit in it when he goes, what about people who don't read books? And he says, oh no, don't worry about that. The screenwrites was sold ages ago, and it actually is a movie now.
That don't matter either, does it?
Why? What do you mean? Of course it matters.
No, I've not seen Avatar, so I might not have watched that. Oh, why has it gone quiet? I mean, I might not watch it, is what I'm saying. If everyone else is watching it, I won't watch it.
Yeah, but the thing is, if let's say Avatar was driving us insane,
we've gone.
The amount of people that did see it at cinema and home would have been enough to destroy the world anyway.
We've gone somewhere. No, the thing is that it's like. What you've got to remember is it's like Harry Potter in this world. Sutter Kane is basically J.K. Rowling. You know what I mean? So everyone's seen a Harry Potter film. Have you seen a Harry Potter film?
I literally watched all of them a year ago for the first time.
But there you go, all of them. Have you seen a Harry Potter film?
I've seen a few of them.
Yeah. Have you read a book?
No.
Harry Potter.
Have you read a book, Matt?
Have you read a book? All I can tell you about Harry Potter is no one's milked a little wizard more than Debbie McGee.
And it was fine, fancying Hermione all the way through because I was younger than her.
What is going on?
Not all the way through now. Like when I watched.
Oh my god!
How have we ended up in stories about masturbating Harry Potter?
Because I'm in the mouth of madness. This is what's happening to me right now. I'm the one that's actually losing my mind and clawing at some walls. The point is, right at the end, spoiler alert. Trent Neal sits down in a film, watches Sutter Kane's latest book, In the Mouth of Madness, on the big screen with him as a character,
recapping the events of the film we've watched previously,
and he full blown loses his mind.
I really liked how he had popcorn there as well.
He's completely embracing the fact that he at that stage realises he is just a character. The world's gone to pot. Let's just enjoy it with some popcorn.
You know, they spoke about it in the film, funnily enough, but you know. He might as well be the last sane man.
What's he pointing
What have you put?
Top 10 horror movies of the decade.
We'll have a look at that.
Talk about them.
Yeah, we'll have a look.
What's he looking at that for?
We'll see if any of these are on there. As in the films that we've been talking about. Oh, because they're not in the last decade.
Yeah.
Learn to read.
Does anyone do this? I think this is universal when someone does something silly.
Just make it. All right.
There's two things in this world
point taken.
that are universal, and that's and
inflection. Do you know this?
No matter what country you're in.
Anyway, sits there, watches the film of his own life.
Yeah,
absolutely mental.
And it's the end of the world.
The apocalypse is now.
Do you know what? There is one thing, and I told you about this, Connor, that affects me deeply in that film. And anyone that knows my past knows I've had certain experiences in life. And in the insane asylum, where the story starts, because Sam Neill is in the insane asylum at the start, and the whole story is him recounting what happened. They're just playing the Carpenter's music over and over again. And Jesus Christ, now that is pure terror.
No, I'll tell you what's pure terror, alright? Because it's Halloween, we're talking about scary stuff. For anyone that's interested, the game Deadly Premonition, right? If you know it, lovely. If you don't, it's a treat. There is the most monotonous whistling song and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to whistle. It's like and it's almost as bad as I'm whistling it there in the actual cut, just on loop.
What is it with weird noises like that are spooky? Like no,
it's not. It's played to like a little like bumpkin beat. It's like din 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 din.
Have you seen Takeshi Miike's audition?
Takeshi Miike's audition for what?
Film audition.
For what?
It's called Audition. Oh God!
It's called Audition.
There's this scene towards the end, and all the woman is going is beep 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 beep, and it is freaky,
hilarious. But let's wrap it back. I'll tell you what. Quick break, because we're going to have a look from the topic, not from the stream. For what's this? Top 10 horror films of the last decade. Yeah. Connor, what are we saying?
This is the countdown of the top 10 horror films from the last decade,
as put together by
Connor.
You do a bit
Connor.
No, definitely
not by me.
Not by Connor.
Do a bit of a line on it. You talk about each, so I don't just list 10 in a row.
All right, go on.
Right. The Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
Calm down. 2013.
Calm down.
That's not one of the best jump scares I've ever seen.
What? That's what you're saying? That's one of them?
No.
Oh, right, I was going to say.
Where the witch jumps off the wardrobe, because normally you look away and you're like, oh, like that. But the witch just stays in the wardrobe, jumps off really slowly, and it's constantly there.
I almost want to watch a really scary film with Connor and have a jump scare just to watch him go, ooh.
I'd like someone to tell me how they can say this was based on the true events of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
Next film.
I know what's next. I know Matt's going to be all poncy about it.
Go on.
The Babadook.
Oh, I love the Babadook. Bloody love Mr. Babadook.
Go on, tell why. It's not about a ghost. It's not about a demon. It's an allegory for mental health.
Yeah. The Babadook, in my eyes, there is no monster. There never was a monster.
You're the monster,
there never
mate.
was a book. She was mentally insane. The whole film is about how once you learn to accept mental illness, you can't get rid of it, but you can have a mediocre of control. Hence at the end where she's changed up Mr. Babadook in the basement. Anyway, move on.
Next film.
Train to Busan.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
Well put. Get Out.
Yeah.
Which Matt won't watch because he's a vehement racist.
Whoa! You can't say that. He's not a vehement racist. First of all, it would be vehement.
Yeah, but
Second of all,
drinking. I can say what I want.
He's drinking.
It's no excuse for the English language.
Get Out is massively overrated.
You haven't seen it?
I have seen Get Out. I've not seen
it's Us and Black Panther you refuse to watch for other reasons.
Stop. We are not doing this. Get Out is a good film.
Yeah, I think I enjoy it. I think it's a good film, but I think it is massively overrated.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's not a good film, does it?
No, I'm just saying it's not in the top 10.
No, I'm on the next one. I want to know.
Okay.
I was looking. Well, you've already said it now.
I've not said it.
What was the next?
I haven't said it.
What was it? What was it?
What do you mean?
You know, The Thing.
It says here, better than the Babadook. Get Out was...
Okay. Hang on, no, because what I was looking for, what was the name of the main actor from Get Out? Daniel. Is it Daniel?
Daniel Craig?
No, not Daniel Craig.
Can I just say really quick?
Daniel
I know
Day-Lewis?
who'll listen to this. My friend kind of looks like the guy from Get Out. I mean, I've said that now. But...
he said it. It's got to be true.
That's out there.
We was in Nando's once.
Which one?
It was
the main character.
Nando's at the O2.
No, which...
Not the Nando's you were at.
What character?
Yeah, the main guy.
The main guy, right?
Yeah. What's his name?
What, my mate?
No, not your mate, the main guy.
I know his name as well.
Daniel?
I know his name.
Sure
Stephen De Laurentiis.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya, thank you, yes.
So we was at the Nando's at the O2 and some guy come up and said, oh, you're the guy from Get Out, aren't you? My girlfriend just pointed you out. Can we have a photo with you?
Did he say yes?
I think he did. But I think he said it wasn't him.
Oh, but he's like, but you can have a photo and say it's Daniel Kaluuya.
So
that's absolute magic.
Okay, right, next one. Next one on the list of the top.
Okay.
What have these got any numbers, or are they just the top?
There's not numbers, but they're 1 to 10.
So we're just counting 10.
Hang on, they've not got numbers, but they're 1 to 10.
No, but they're between 1 and 10.
All right.
Well, no, there's 10 of them. Right, next film. It. I'll do this one. I like it.
Which one?
The first one.
The first one, okay.
2017.
No, I'm saying chapter 1 or chapter 2.
Because the first one.
I thought chapter 1 was markedly better than chapter 2.
Chapter 2 was funnier.
Yeah,
I agree with that. I think it should be looked at. If you were to do it as one I think I've said this to you, one cohesive story of, you know, the terror of the children and things like that, and then how it progresses into their later life as like a proper fluid cut right at the end, and then fade to black, then we start in chapter 2.
Don't need to be that long, does it?
Well, if you looked at it as one cohesive story, you know, people watch the entirety of The Lord of the Rings, just saying.
Yeah, I think for me, the reason chapter 2 didn't work...
I'm still on it, coaches.
Because it almost seemed to me that they said, right, let's write out a series of scares, and now let's just link them with a little story.
Don't you mean... that's Stephen King.
Yeah, I know, but it was just a series of set pieces.
It's just highest grossing horror film of all time.
Yeah, well, yeah, but that doesn't mean anything, does it?
It means it's the highest grossing horror film of all time. That's what I've just said.
Right, anyway, next one.
Yeah, next one.
Hereditary.
I've not seen Hereditary.
I saw it, but I wasn't concentrating.
Do you know? I think Hereditary is fantastic.
It's not a horror film.
Which one is this?
Hereditary.
It's not a horror film. It's a family drama.
Well, it is a family drama, but you definitely can't say it's not a horror film.
You can because the director says so. Are you going to tell him you can't say that?
I would say, because I would say film is an art medium, and therefore I can interpret it how I damn well want.
When I had it on, I weren't concentrating. That's all I'm saying.
Next film.
Can I just say this though, that Toni Collette, lead actress in Hereditary, should have got a bloody Oscar nomination. Absolutely incredible performance.
All right,
but she was better in Muriel's Wedding.
Next film.
The Witch.
The Witch.
The Witch.
What's the goat called? Black Thomas.
Oh, guys, remember that?
Is the goat called Black Thomas?
I don't remember. I wasn't taking the note of the
Have you seen the film with the witch?
No,
I haven't
seen
it.
I've not seen it.
I've not seen The Witch.
The Witch is an amazing film. It's really massively slow burning, but it basically there's this family that move out, the Puritan, kind of that sort of thing, and the girl slowly starts to get influenced what they think is by witchcraft, and is it witchcraft or is she not? Blah 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 blah. Anyway, there's a goat in it called Black Thomas that scares the crap out of me.
Fair enough.
Suspiria.
Is that the model? Is that the remake of Suspiria?
This decade. So
I don't know how I feel about that.
I've seen some of it. I got a bit bored. I'm still going to watch it, but I got a bit bored.
Do you know what though? It has got a great scene in it where that girl where the dancer, she's dying by the way of the dance, and all the dance moves are making her break bones. I think that's pretty good.
Halloween.
See, we're grimacing because these are all remakes. Suspiria was a remake of the 1997 Italian original. It was a remake of the Tim Curry whatever.
Hang on the list. Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween.
I'm annoyed because I haven't seen It Follows so far. And that's
don't throw that out.
Shush. Are you being serious?
I liked It Follows.
So gets one.
Halloween, right? It's like massive franchises like Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street and stuff like that. And you're like, well, they were rubbish.
Just quickly then.
And it had Jamie Lee Curtis again.
It Follows. What would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah.
I would go to a brothel.
My guy. And shag a prostitute, then go to a brothel.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
What?
Do you know? Okay.
It follows.
That way, you're constantly.
Sorry, I missed the It Follows bit, but yes, you're absolutely right.
It Follows.
No,
I don't think It Follows.
Just generally.
The reason I don't think It Follows works is because one, you can outwalk it, and two, when it does finally catch up with you, what does it do? Gives your hair a bit of a pull. Right, move on. Next one.
It's got one of the best scenes in the last 10 years of horror films as well.
What?
We've said that about 8 different scenes tonight.
Yeah, where the door opens up and the big guy walks through the door.
Oh, the big guy.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods. I love Cabin.
Actually, Cabin in the Woods is super clever.
Cabin in the Woods is amazing.
Cabin in the Woods is as close to an SCP movie you're ever going to get.
Yeah, I mean, if we're taking number one as Cabin in the Woods, I'm totally alright with that.
I like at the end when all of them come out, because when you see them all on that board and you're like, I wish that had been the one chosen.
Yeah.
And they all come out, and there's Hellraiser there.
Yeah.
It's like,
it is, as I say, as close to an SCP movie as you're going to get.
Look up the SCP Foundation.
Look up the SCP Foundation if you haven't.
Shout out Inside.
Shout out Inside. Gents, from a cabin in the woods to a small Arctic station in the Arctic. Because it's cold.
It's genius, The segue is so genius.
Gotta love a segue. We are finishing off the movie podcast with a look at John Carpenter's most iconic work, The Thing.
The Thing, yes.
The Thing.
Do you know what? I will just say this about The Thing. I saw the first time. The first time I ever saw The Thing was when I was a younger lad, and I was watching it late at night at TV.
And I was watching it at TV.
And for me, do you know the term where it says, "Oh, this one's a right edge of the seat film"? That literally was.
I mean, yeah.
It was. I can remember coming out of that thinking, Jesus, my thighs hurt from all that squatting.
And I saw it for the first time after I got the game on PlayStation. I was
you bought the Thing.
I'll buy the DVD as well.
Right. See, it's interesting because I think, as we touched on earlier,
Matt's much older than me.
No. I didn't know we touched on that at all. Calm down. We were the fact that The Thing was a box office But yet, people watching it on TV and people getting it on DVD, just like you two, were the boom of the film, making it one of the most iconic pieces of horror
box
that you've
office
seen
failure.
Today.
It was a critical. The critics absolutely destroyed
it. The critics hated it. As we spoke about earlier, it basically nearly ruined John Carpenter's career. One of the things I was going to say was that he actually had a multi-deal movie with Universal, who bought him out of the contract because they were so afraid of the backlash from The Thing.
I think, and a lot of the problem I think with The Thing was the time it came out with certain other science fiction films that were deemed in more of a friendlier way. Also, you got Alien that came out a similar sort of
when
time.
Was it? It was 82.
82, I think it was.
E.T. was that at that time? Yeah, that's another one. Another family-friendly film.
And stuff like that. And I think a lot of people thought he was just trying to outgross everyone, as in not outgross as in money, but outgross as in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people called him some kind of like what do they call it? Like a not torture porn, but like a gore porn. I don't know if that's the thing, but it was at the time considered gratuitously over violent. Yeah. However, what that meant in critics, well, as we can look back on it with rose-tinted spectacles, maybe not. Some of the most stunning special effects that have been seen in that day.
Special effects that even if you watch the movie now, so 82, 92, 02, 30 odd years later, 30 odd, the maths ain't great, 30 odd years later, the special effects are still better than the vast majority of the films you watch now. And you look at the not the remake of The Thing, but the prequel to The Thing, the special effects in the original Thing, not the original John Carpenter's Thing, are immensely better.
Was that the was it a 60s film? Because it was a novel.
It was the novel Who Goes There.
Are you sure it was Who Goes There?
Yeah, and then
sure? Can we look that up?
Look that up. Kind of.
What's it called?
The novel for The Thing.
Yeah,
because it was then The Thing from Outer Space.
The Thing from Another World.
Thing from Another World. Thing from Another World. Yes.
And then it was John Carpenter's The Thing. And the book and John Carpenter's The Thing were quite.
They were. So John Carpenter wanted to do something that was like more appropriate for the novel.
Who Goes There?
It was Who Goes There.
Who Goes There?
Sorry, yeah.
That's right.
So he wanted to do something more akin to the story of Who Goes There.
Yeah.
Whereas The Thing from Outer Space, A Thing from Another World.
Yeah.
I'm getting all my words.
It was a kind of like a big mossy monster creature, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mossy monster.
Mossy monster.
Yeah, but the special effects were incredible. And then, of course, as we've spoken about already, again, left off with this incredible cliffhanger with
Childs.
Yes,
and McCready.
Everything's
better with Kurt Russell.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Fast and Furious.
What about Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Do you read?
All right, I should have countered that with Death Proof.
Touche. Yeah, Death Proof is a fucking great film.
Or Tombstone. Best movie moustache going.
I don't think I've seen Tombstone.
Oh, hang on. Talking quickly and recapping of best movie moustaches. In The Prince of Darkness, one of the characters got a pretty quality porn moustache.
Is that the priest?
Love it.
No, that's the talk. Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Absolutely amazing porn.
Yeah. He's got that 70s.
Also, a film that not a lot of people have seen recently that is a Kurt Russell horror, Bone Tomahawk. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Really, really good film. Really good. Yeah. So
there you go. So Kurt Russell. Great guy.
he's
a great guy. I love great guy.
Yeah,
I love great guys.
I love great guys.
Do you remember seeing him? He made his debut in a Disney film, and it was some little boy that
we're just talking about Kurt Russell.
Yeah, some little boy that could jump really high and play basketball, and he was like, "Ow, ow!"
Oh, do you know what?
Was it Flubber? I don't know.
I'll tell you what. Do you want to talk about people that starred in films? Do you remember the paper boy that had the conversation with Sam Neill from In the Mouth of Madness?
Yeah.
That is Hayden Christensen.
Is it?
Yeah. /movie trivia. That's Hayden Christensen.
Who would have thought he'd go on to be Darth Vader?
Well, because he was infected, wasn't he? He reads Sutter Kane.
That's why in the end of the Star Wars films he goes, no.
But yes, absolutely. So I mean, The Thing was just incredible. I don't think there's anything more to say about that. There's loads of stuff out there. Go and look something up about The Thing.
It's the ultimate film of paranoia and suspense, and also one of the great things about it is because there are no main characters and it is an ensemble film. At no stage do you have a character that you say, "It's definitely not him."
Well, yeah, this is the thing. You never look at someone and go, "No, it can't be them," because it totally could be.
It totally can be. Yeah, it
and
totally can be.
And this is the thing with Charles McCready right at the end. Which one is which? Now, interestingly,
or even is one anything.
Well, so I think John Carpenter actually filmed 2 endings. Do you know about this?
Yes, I have heard about this. Yeah,
apparently he filmed 2 endings just in case one didn't test positive with the audiences or whatever. And it had some sort of weird. I can't remember where. I think it was McCready went for like a blood test or whatever.
Yeah, it was McCready.
So glad that they kept the original.
It was McCready flew out on a helicopter. And
that was it.
Back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And No, leave it nice. Leave it ambiguous. Perfect.
Do you know what the good thing about cinema is, and I think this is the best thing about films, is what I like, is when they treat us like we're intelligent. Let us make up our minds. Don't signpost everything. I don't need to know that guy is that guy, that guy.
Yeah.
I like to sometimes think about it. And some of the best films I've seen, especially horror and genre films, are where I've been left thinking, what the hell was that about? One film in point, not the American remake, which was absolutely diabolical, and I won't even talk about it. Martyrs, an incredible film that leaves you with such a blow to the face that you sit there for a week afterwards thinking, I gotta watch it again.
I've not actually seen Martyrs, nor would I probably want to see the American remake of that.
No, never go near the American remake. Unfortunately, it's one of those films that has been labelled under the torture porn.
Oh, I see. Do you know what?
Ignore it for that.
A little bit more entry level, since we're talking about that sort of stuff and ambiguous endings. Everyone knows the ending to Inception, where the top is being spun.
Yeah.
You know, I find it quite laudable that, you know, people are coming out and saying, "Oh my God, I didn't understand Inception. It was so complicated. Was he out? Was he in?" And I'm like, "Does it matter? It doesn't matter.
Does it matter?
Like, you're not understanding what the whole purpose of the film is." But I think, gents, we might. What is this?
Snapchat.
Oh, nice.
What's that?
We're all on Snapchat.
We're all on Snapchat.
There you go.
Like someone's Snapchat me.
Someone Snapchatted you.
Oh.
Someone Snapchatted us. We've made it big. We're in the big leagues now.
Listen, gents, I know that we've just made it in the big leagues and everything, but I do have a message to give you, and you're not going to like it. We're at time. That's it.
Yeah, we are.
We are. That's it.
If anyone can waffle, it's that guy.
I don't appreciate that. At all.
Yeah. And did everyone notice how... Oh, you did notice how tuned.
We pointed them out earlier.
Yeah, well, I forget, didn't I? I've drunk a moonshine since then.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else conspicuous about anything that's gone on in this episode at all.
No.
We're just the addition of some
we should end with
and that's it.
That's the only weird thing.
What do you fancy ending? Yeah, there is the question... Do you read Satakan? That's the question.
I don't know why I've become a pirate, as I say.
Do you read Satakan?
Very be one.
Hold on. I can't log in.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
I was going to end with a question.
What we've already
have a little quick discussion.
A quick discussion.
Hang on, we've got to have a quick discussion because he's doing something.
Quickly, ask.
Quickly.
It's almost like someone should probably have this kind of stuff prepared. You know, considering we're coming up to just under an hour.
Right.
Well, keep it on.
Keep talking for quick.
We got to keep talking.
We've got. I tell you what. Listen, I can throw out a couple of other bits and pieces that might be of interest about the films that we've been talking about.
Yeah, or I could just go.
Right. Okay.
I think that worked.
I'll go with this.
It worked.
What are you 99% sure of, but you don't have any proof? You go first.
That I am a nice guy.
Definitely no proof for that.
But I too, I tell you what, I am 99% sure, but I have no proof that I too am a neat guy, and I too am just a love machine.
What's that from?
It's from Friends.
Oh, yeah.
Bruce Willis.
I don't watch Friends.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, mate, hilarious. I too am a neat guy. Matt?
Well, go and answer the question again.
Answer it again.
Ask it again.
What are you... I feel like I know what you're going to say. What are you 99% sure of, but you don't have proof?
The Madeline McCann.
That's what I was going to say. I knew you was going to say.
Fuck's sake! Oh, God almighty.
Just one.
You hurt me. You physically.
Masturbation becomes an Olympic sport, judged like ice skating on presentation, skill, complexity, and execution.
God, we're a film
How would you win?
podcast.
How would I win? Speed skating.
Speedmaster.
Yeah, I'd do it so hard my helmet would come off. Right,
ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this episode of ScreenJest.
Okay, see you later, everybody.
Bye,
and
guys.
As we say from ScreenJest, keep jesting.
I am so sorry for everything that has taken place in this episode. We have no political events or anything like that. I apologise for any Madeleine McCann jokes that have been made. They are not funny and incredibly inappropriate.
2 for 2.